Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of September 12th, Noosa Town Board to order with roll call, please.
Councilwoman Pope,
Here.
Councilman Burke,
Here.
Councilman Gendrowski,
Here.
Councilman Dugan,
Here.
Supervisor Cummings,
Here.
all present.
Would you all please stand and join me in the pledge of the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
Which it stands.
for one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody has received a copy of the minutes of the regular meeting of the 22nd. Any additions, corrections, or changes? I'll entertain a motion to approve. Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Agenda changes. I'd like to add to the agenda J, a resolution for the Akron Fire Company training and on the Skyline Park, and then also K, advertise for a library position vacancy. Someone make that motion to add those two?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Communications, Dawn?
Yes. We received a letter from Charter Communications notifying the town of upcoming programming changes that are going to take place in October. We received a letter of resignation from Bob T, resigning from his position on the library board. We received a public notice from the Erie County Environment and Planning regarding their 30-day inclusion period for ag lands into the existing agricultural districts. The inclusion period runs from September 1st to the 30th. And lastly, we received a copy of the New York State Building Standards and Code Outreach Program newsletter. And that is it.
Okay. Entertain a motion to receive the file.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Work session, we did not have one between last meeting. So we'll move on to approval of the bills. First, we have a few budget transfers. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. What's your, I'm sorry.
Did you skip anybody want to say a question?
Oh, I skipped that. Yes, yes, good idea. The agenda, everybody has a copy. If you have a question about what's on the agenda, this is your time to comment. If your comment is something that's not on the agenda, then that'll be at the end of the meeting. Thanks, John. Okay, approval of the bills. Patty?
I'd offer the following bills for payment. General, 38,500. 79,613.62. General outside the village, $103.14. Highway, $171,206.40. Cap Multicultural Court, 0. Cap Scotland Water, $393.55. Cap Capsule Water, $1,790.64. Cap Draper Water, $206.62. Cedar Water, $206.62. Nap Water, $2,833.55. Bike Path, $49.20. Refuse, $26,000, $548.76. Sewer District Number 1, $354.37. Sewer District Number 2, $93.19. Sewer District Number 3, $427.50. Consolidated Water, $4.50, for a total of $283,831.66.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Those are paid. We'll move on to committee and department head reports. Highway, Mike.
Yes, we've been field ditch going go mowing and, we mowed the bike path. We had some repairs to the open cab tractor, turn signals on number 3, brakes on number 8. 2 trucks went to help the town of Alabama, town of Walden and Erie County Highway. I've been mowing the parks and the cemeteries. We milled and placed Utley Road and then we, oiled and stoned them. Then we borrowed the, back truck from Clarence and, swept those 2 roads. Then the field ditching on Main Road, by the back property and Scotland Road. Fixed the driveways on Utley Road with either stone or blacktop where needed. We had a couple trees from down in the bike path we picked up. The ground stumps, we put dirt and seed in them. We got the park ready for Little League football. And that's it.
Okay, any questions? Comments? Assessor, I have the assessor's report. This week I have been working on modeling for the reassessment project as well as building the land tables. I am still in the process of calibrating the model. I have also been working on modifying the special district. I may have one of the gals from the state come out and assist me with these special districts. The exemption renewals will be going out early next week. I have no concerns currently, and if anyone has any questions, please contact me, Tina Freitas. Next, we have the code enforcement officer, or excuse me, not code officer, but the planning and code department report for the permits for the last 2-week period. Accessory structures, fuel, fireplace generators, roofs, special events. 3 or 4 of them, commercial, pond fill, windows, siding, etc. Any questions? I would like to comment that, because it has taken us a while to go through the legal steps and the steps, but the Johnson property, when I was a kid, on 93 house is down and will be, they're taking it away right now and it should be all cleared up in the next couple weeks. So that's been a long time coming.
The present owner anticipate rebuilding on site.
Yes,
That's what I thought.
yeah. 2 come before the building department. Okay, town clerk.
Yeah, just that, school tax bills were received last week. We processed them all last week and they were mailed out this morning. So I'm anticipating we'll start getting payments tomorrow.
Any questions? Town attorney? Assistant town attorney? Councilperson Changowski?
Yeah, I turned the list into Dawn. She's gonna put it in the minutes. You guys can read it there.
It should be read here if it's gonna go in the minutes.
Really?
How can you put something in the minutes?
It happens all the time.
What, that goes in the minutes that we don't know about?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Highway report,
Who?
talking points, highway report.
He submits a list.
I submitted a list of Dawn.
Okay, could you read the list? That's what I want. I want it read.
That's all. I'll read it, Dawn.
I'm gonna bring it to you.
No. Nope, I talked with an issue on Utley, or not Utley, well, there was one on Utley Road too, but I talked to a resident on Draper Road. I had 2 complaints on highway curbs that were parked out by the road, right on the edge of the road. I went and talked to him. The guy was very cordial about it. He moved them back along the shoulder. I also talked with Christine on leaks in the roof. I also talked with Steve Rott. He's gonna come back and repair the gutter. And we have never been billed for that yet. So we should, once he gets that done, we should get a bill. It's been since COVID time. And then also, well, tell me, Dawn, Oh, I talked with Dave Miller on the Utley Road project. And I believe everything, not Utley Road, Swift Mills, and then the pond on Utley Road. And everything's moving in a good direction, at least on Swift Mills. Okay,
Okay. Any questions? Councilperson Dugan?
I just had multiple exchanges with the new state fire president with regards to contract negotiations. That's all I have.
Oh, that's one thing we did forget about in work session.
No, it's.
Yep.
We're at a pause right now.
Okay, Councilperson Burke?
Yes, I'm glad to be back in the harness. And other than that, due to the lack of presence, I have nothing to report.
Okay. Councilperson Pope?
Well, we're happy you're back, Doc. I just did some research into the energy law. Thank you for Emily for answering all my questions.
Okay. Supervisor, you received the supervisor's report for August. At the last meeting, Colleen and I attended the budget roundtable. We had several calls concerning that back lot over the last 2 weeks. Refuse meeting that we had with the company in the village. We're working on the contract to go out to bid, and I think we're gonna do that this evening. There's a meeting on the sign. I want to thank Dawn and staff for all the work that you've done on that. Union negotiations, we did get something back today from the union that we can probably discuss next Monday. Water line, I'll say it so you don't have to. The construction was supposed to start today. Now it's not gonna start until next week, Monday. But everything looks like it's in order to move forward with that. I attended a presentation with the senior center in the association giving them a $30,000 grant towards their senior van. And so we have that in place. Just like to comment on the back lot this weekend. And we'll give everybody their time to speak later on. But I listened to 3 different phone messages this morning, and I went and talked to Dave Miller. Dave Miller's the one, no offense, Dave, you're here, but you're the one that should be getting the messages because you're the one that okays the permit, et cetera, and your firsthand knowledge. So just FYI, Dave Miller, not Dave Cummings, okay? But my only comment is they're trying to do better. They just goofed up big time with the fireworks. Thing went down, it wasn't that loud. The ceremony that they had was really nice, but the fireworks, the fact that they didn't notify anybody is inexcusable. There's no question about that. And we'll try to rectify that moving forward. That's the first time, and it was permitted. Dave hasn't signed on the permit, but that's the first time we had fireworks. So hopefully we don't have it again, but we'll go in place for that. And we'll talk about that later. And that's all I have. Unfinished business, buildings. John, anything?
Nope.
Planning? There's nothing new. Water sewer, Scott, other than what I said. Okay. Grants. The only thing is we are going to set up a public hearing this evening for the community development block grant that we apply for probably 2 out of 3 years. If we have a project that we think would qualify. And we'll take care of that in the next couple of weeks. Anything else other unfinished business? New business. First is a resolution of seeker local law number 3 for chapter 150, public hearing, September 26th. David.
Yes, I would like to propose the following, where the new version of 19 NYCRR Part 1203 Uniform Code and Energy Code minimum standards for administration and enforcement was adopted with an effective date of December 30th, 2022. And whereas pursuant to the executive law, Section 381, paragraph 1, Energy Law, Section 11 through 107, the Department of State is authorized to
Promulgate.
promulgate regulations establishing minimum standards for administration and enforcement of the Uniform Code and Energy Code pursuant to Executive Law, Section 381, paragraph 2. Local governments are required to administer and enforce the Uniform Code and Energy Code. And whereas the town board has determined that it's necessary to repeal and replace Chapter 150 of the Town Code based on the changes to the Uniform Code and Energy Code, and whereas I introduced the following proposed local law number 3 of the year 2022, known as 2022 local law, to repeal and replace Chapter 150 of the Town Code regarding construction codes, uniform, and presented the copy to each member of the town board, a copy of which local laws attached to it and made a part hereof. Let's read the back part of that forward to the. Okay. Now therefore, it is hereby ordered as follows: a hearing before the town board of the town of New County of Erie shall be held at Town Hall, 5 Clarence Center Road, Akron, New York, at 7:25 p.m. on the 26th day of September 2022 for the purpose of hearing all persons interested in the proposed local law number 3 of the year 2022. Be it further ordered that the town clerk is directed to publish a notice of public hearing in the Akron Bugle designated as official newspaper for this publication. Such publication is not to be less than 10 days before the date of the public hearing, and post as required by law. Copy of notice of the public hearing no later than the day such notice is published. B, notify by mail all parties of interest pursuant to the general municipal law and the town law of the public hearing not less than 10 days before the date of the public hearing. And C, notice to the Erie County Department of Environment and Planning is required under section 239-M of the general municipal law. And be it further ordered that the town clerk is to make copies of the proposed local law number 3 of the year 2022 entitled 2022 local law to repeal and replace Chapter 150 of the town code regarding construction codes, uniform, available at her office for inspection and distribution to any interested person during business hours. Also, where the town board of the town of Newstead is considering adoption of local law which would repeal and replace Chapter 150 of the town code, whereas the town board has reviewed the short form EFA submitted and has determined that the proposed action will not have a significant impact on the environment. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Newstead, after considering the actions proposed herein, reviewing the criteria contained in section 617-11 of rules and regulations of seeker, and thoroughly analyzing the project with respect to potential environmental concerns, determined that the proposed action will not have a significant effect on the environment, and that no further action is required by the town board under seeker.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Good job. No discussion, please, pull the board.
Councilman Paul,
Aye.
Councilman Burke,
Aye.
Councilman Dobrowski,
Yes.
Councilman Dugan, Supervisor Cummings.
Yes.
Very good.
Next is B is a resolution to set a public hearing for comment on electric charging stations for September 26th at 7:20. Joe.
I'd like to propose the following resolution, whereas a meeting held on August 15th, 2022, the town board discussed potential installation of electric vehicle charging stations at various locations throughout the town of Newstead. And whereas the town board plans to research grant and other funding opportunities for this potential project, as well as potential locations for placement. And whereas the town board believes that it is essential and necessary to solicit opinions and input from residents of the town of Newstead on this topic, as well as to gauge interest from residents regarding the potential installation and preferred location. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board as follows. Number one. Town board authorized the town clerk to have published in the Akron Bugle a notice of public hearing. Number two, said public hearing shall be scheduled for September 26, 2022 at the town of Newstead Hall, 7:20 PM for the purpose of hearing public comments regarding potential installation of electric vehicle charging stations in the town of Newstead. And number three, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a second
Second.
discussion? Please poll the board.
Councilman Pope,
Aye.
Councilman Burke,
Aye.
Councilman Jandrowski,
Yes.
Councilman Dugan,
Yes,
Supervisor Cummings.
Yes.
Carried.
C is a resolution to approve entering into a by-board cooperative purchasing agreement. Doc,
I'd like to propose the following resolution. First, the town board of the town of Newstead, in consultation with the highway superintendent, has considered an agreement with the National Purchasing Cooperative, AKA BUY Board, which is an administrative agency of cooperating local governments to assist in identifying qualified vendors of commodities, goods, and services to realize various potential economies. And whereas the town board believes the agreement with BUY Board is in the best interest of the town of Newstead, now therefore be it resolved by the town board as follows. One, the town board does approve the entering into of an agreement with BUY Board. Two, the town highway superintendent was hereby authorized to execute such agreement on behalf of the town of Newstead, a copy of which is annexed here too and made a part hereof. Three, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
is there a second
Second.
discussion? Please poll the board.
Councilwoman Pope,
No.
Councilman Burke,
Aye.
Councilman Jandrowski,
No.
Councilman Dugan,
yes,
Supervisor Cummings.
Yes.
Carried.
D, we have a resolution to purchase a Massey mower. Patty?
Whereas the highway superintendent has requested town board approval for purchase of the new Massey Ferguson 5711D with diamond twin flail mower in accordance with the quote attached here too and made a part hereof. And whereas the money for the purchase is included in the highway department budget and the town board has determined that it would be in the best interest of the town to acquire the new tractor and mower. And whereas the tractor and mower are available under contract for municipalities through BUY Board number 611-20 and public bidding is not required. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board as follows. Number one, the highway superintendent is hereby authorized to purchase Massey Ferguson 5711D diamond twin flail mowers with accessories at a cost of $76,256.85 in accordance with the written quotes sold off Sourcewell contract ID number 070821, total of $126,070 $70.23. Number two, the total funding for this purchase will be as follows. Parks budget, $4,000, highway budget, $102,070.23, and drain fund balance, $20,000, total of $126,070.23. Number three, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a second
Second.
discussion? Please poll the board.
Councilwoman Pope,
No.
Councilman Burke,
Aye.
Councilman Jandrowski,
No.
Councilman Dugan,
no,
Supervisor Cummings.
Yes.
And that fails to carry.
E, resolution to set a public hearing for the community of Bell Block Grant.
It's me.
Doc,
Yes, I'd like to propose the following resolution. Whereas at a meeting held on September 12th, 2022, town board discussed holding a public hearing on Erie County Community Development Block Grants. And whereas the town board feels that it is essential and necessary to solicit opinions and input from the residents of the town of Newstead on this topic. Now let it be therefore resolved that one, the town board authorizes the supervisor, David L. Cummings, to have published in the Akron Bugle of notice of public hearing, and two, Said public hearing shall be scheduled for September 26, 2022, at the Newstead Town Hall at 7:15 PM for the purpose of hearing public comments on the use of potential funds received from the Erie County Community Development Block Grant Consortium. 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
There a second?
Second.
Discussion? Please poll the board.
Councilman Pope,
Yes.
Councilman Burt,
Aye.
Councilman Gendrowski,
Yes.
Councilman Dugan.
Yes.
Supervisor Tussin.
Yes.
Carried unanimous.
F, a resolution to bid the town and village refuge contract.
Oh, I'd offer the following resolution, whereas the current refuse contract in place for the town of Newstead is a joint contract with the village of Akron, which expires at the end of the year. And whereas due to the pending expiration of the refuse contract, it is necessary to advertise for bids for a new contract. And whereas the town board of the town of Newstead believes that it is again in the best interest of the residents of the town of Newstead to pursue a joint contract with the village of Akron. And whereas the town board has requested the attorney for the town to prepare refuse contract bid specifications, which have been reviewed by the town board and determined to be satisfactory. And whereas in consideration of any bids received, the town board reserves the right to consider a contract based on the overall low bid, giving due consideration to all components of the contract, as well as the option to reject all bids received. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board as follows. Number 1, the town board approves the refuse specifications as prepared by the attorney for the town, with joint bidding with the Akron, Village of Akron, a copy of which is attached here too and made a part hereof. Number 2, the town clerk is directed to publish the required notice and to send out bid packages to vendors in the area with the bids to be received on October 18th by 11 a.m. Number 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
There a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Or excuse me, wrong thing. Please poll the board.
Councilwoman Pope,
Yes.
Councilman Burt,
Aye.
Councilman Gendrowski,
Yes.
Councilman Dugan.
Yes.
Supervisor Tussin.
Yes.
Carried unanimous.
G, I'd like to entertain a motion to hire Carissa Decker, Deputy Dog Control Officer at 1875, starting tomorrow.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. H, entertain a motion to approve a lateral restriction hardship exception at 12701 Stage Road.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Aye. A motion, entertain a motion for lateral restriction hardship exemption at 12761 Swift Mills Road.
So moved.
Second, discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We added J, a resolution, granting the Akron Fire Company training. Joe,
I'd like to propose the following resolution, whereas the Akron Fire Company, the fire company, intends to conduct wildland search and rescue, I'm assuming there, training event, the drill on the town of Newstead, on a town of Newstead, the town owned property located on Skyland Drive as a training exercise for its members and members of other area fire companies. And whereas the fire company will confirm prior to the drill that it has received all of the requisites approvals to conduct the drill. And whereas the town board has determined that it is in the best interest of the town to allow the drill to occur, provided that the fire company first enters into a hold harmless agreement with the town and confirms that the town is named as an additional insured on its insurance policy related to the drill. Now therefore be resolved as follows. Number 1, the town board does hereby direct the town attorney to negotiate a hold harmless agreement with the fire company and to review the fire company's insurance to ensure the town is properly named as an additional insured. Number 2, the supervisors hereby authorized to execute and hold harmless agreement on the behalf of the town of Newstead. And number 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
is there a second?
Second.
I have a question, John or Joe, or either one of you approached by the Akron Fire Company, even the fire committee?
No.
No, but we're not
Not at,
fire
yeah,
committee, so.
not,
Newstead, so nothing.
no,
You are the fire committee of the town of Houston.
right.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Wait, no, that's.
This is a resolution.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Please poll the board.
Councilwoman Foe,
Yes,
Councilman Byrd,
Aye.
Councilman Gendrowski,
Yes,
Councilman Dugan,
Yes,
Supervisor Cummings,
Yes.
all carried.
Okay, K. Entertain a motion to advertise for the library, the vacant library board position.
so move.
Second,
second,
discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else under new business? Those, three board members that voted against, resolution D could hopefully by work session come up with what went wrong and what we could do to purchase the right equipment. Help us along. I would appreciate it. Okay, privilege of the floor. At this point in time, if you have any questions of the town of either what we did this evening and or other comments, I would like you to state your name and address. I have a hand up in the back, sir.
My name is Richard Wagner. 8047 Catherine. Here last month. Regarding two of my concerns. That I have not heard from anyone, seen anyone drive out, or phone call. So I'm here to see what the result might be.
Mike?
If we put stone in that edge down there by your road, we come and did yard work for you, and, I don't know what to do to make you happy. We went down by your driveway where the lady drives, the mail lady, and, we have leveled it out, we have shaved and tried to make it, good, and I don't know what more you want me to do.
Okay, I'll explain that. Rucker, from stem to stern, has a nice stable shoulder, broad mailbox there. So I wanna know why I can't have the same enjoyment on my road. I pay taxes, I've been a good citizen of this town. Vietnam veteran, been retired. I almost asked two things to the town since I've been here, and that's the shoulder where they put rocks in, that ended up in the lawn. And they're grading it good. It was all botched up with a front end loader. He knows, John knows. The way he did it was wrong, so I finally had to have them come up and put topsoil in and seed it, which still not as good, but it's okay.
Who did you have come and put topsoil in?
Now,
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure I got everybody correct.
so they wouldn't have had to do the topsoil if they would have taken the bucket on the front end loader and backed it up and then move it over the wood to the bucket, backed it up and proceed the whole way. But the guy on the front end loader inarticulates. So he scrapes some here, comes over, scrapes some here, scrapes some here. Now my yard's all like a Z. And so I'm not happy with that, but I can live with it. But what I don't like, it's been a month that no one even knows that I was here. And then the second issue is the drainage. I'd like to see a transit used in the back of my yard, right to Rucker, because me and the following houses have severe drainage problems. And I just put in a $14,000 septic system approved by Erie County. And it goes into the ditch and it just bubbles underwater and my pump don't shut off. But it can't get out. I'm not picking this stuff up. But I'm a little pissed. And I'm pissed because I was here a month ago. I told you I'm a disabled veteran. And I expect a little respect for someone to come out to me or call me or do something. That's two issues I asked about last month, which is the same two issues I'm asking about now.
Okay, in your second comment. You mentioned drainage. And several other people have the same issue as you do. Can you name
North
those
of
people?
me, there's two other homes. And they have the same issue.
Can you tell us what their names are so we know where to look?
Green, who works, who's a meat cutter. That's my next door neighbor. And I don't know his neighbor. But Dan Green told me, I asked him, I said, what do you think of me going to the town? I don't wanna, mess things up, get you mad at me, I gotta live next to my neighbor. He said, absolutely. He said, and then he said, too, anyone who tells you you're in the town, they never ditched there is lying. Cause he's been there since he was a baby. And he said, they used to come back and maintain that ditch. He said, they haven't done it. Obviously, the 8 years I've been there, and way before that, they haven't done it. But everyone just blows it off. It's just that, it's just that.
I think you're wrong there. I believe that ditch, the whole width of Catherine Drive and the backside to the east of your house was done, I think, when Dale or just Jimmy Eversole, they ditched that all the way from Roll Road, all the way to Brucker Road.
Give me a time frame.
Pardon me.
Give me a time frame. What's going on?
86, 87, 88, no, 90,
No, Dale was here in,
2014,
4, 3,
2014. Yeah.
2003?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but that ditch was all ditched by the town back in that time. But
2003, that could be correct because I've been there 9 years, I could say. And so I wouldn't have been there to witness it, but that's also ample enough time that it needs to be redone.
Well, we've had so much ditching. We're at places that haven't even been done in 30, 40 years.
I know. My house don't count.
Well, I know they've been back there. I know it gets mowed. And
Yeah, I mow it. I've been mowing it for 9 years. So what do you mean?
along the ditch. In the back of the ditch.
I pay a guy to mow the ditch. I pay a guy. I'm 71 years old. I'm not gonna do it. So.
Well, this is the first I heard about that ditch's problem, okay?
What's that?
That ditch in the back of your house that runs from Roll Road to Brucker Road. It's the first time I heard that it's not flowing.
Where were you a month ago?
Nobody called me.
Where were these guys?
It's not up to them guys. It's not up to John to be out there doing shit.
You,
People gotta-
whoa.
People have a complaint, they gotta call the highway department. Okay?
Like 3 years.
Darn it all, I want quiet. Not getting out of hand. I don't want any other negative comments. If we can't conduct this civilly, and that goes for whether you're a town official or a resident, please remain calm, like I should be doing, and I will calm myself back there. But I do know you came before. We talked about the shoulder and the mailboxes. I don't know if we talked about the ditch. I will say, moving forward, we will get back to you shortly.
I've been down to that guy's house, how many times trying to appease you?
Okay, Mike,
Mike,
that's enough.
You're
Mike,
making me.
Mike, please,
See, he's got a problem with.
Yeah.
me.
No, I know.
please.
The guy across the street from me, he did some ditching that pissed off him and the other guys. I had nothing to do with it.
All right. That's all history. That's enough. We will get back to you. No more comments, okay? Sorry. Next. Who else wants to talk? Anybody else want to?
So it'll be before the next meeting, sir?
Not before the next work session, but before the next regular meeting. We'll try to have someone back here within 2 weeks.
That's fine.
Well, I don't want it to be Mike because he's got a hard on for me.
No, I just said. No, what, that's.
Well, it's the truth.
Okay. All right,
You can tell by.
we will get back to you, okay?
All right.
Please. Sir, name and address.
Yes, Alvin Dan, of the 87 Quarry Hill Estates. And we were in shock Friday night with the fireworks. Not only were they after 11, extended after 11 o'clock. We weren't notified in any way, shape or form that they were even gonna have any. And I don't understand why a permit was issued and why they were allowed to shoot fireworks off, so they exploded right over our homes. There was debris found in several roofs. Any of those fireworks could have set off a fire that would have been disastrous in a senior citizen mobile home park. That should never have been allowed.
Okay. Any comments, Dave?
So there was a permit issued, for the pyrotechnics. They're state registered and licensed pyrotechnician, by New York State. They had given the appropriate plan necessary for the blast area. And, if they are granted a little bit of leeway to make some adjustments based on any sort of wind or weather events. But ultimately it is their responsibility to ensure that any fallout or anything along those lines does not rain down on anybody else's property. The fallout area was well outside. The diagram fallout area that they had submitted with their application was on an adjoining property, was nowhere near the manufactured home facility.
Then why were we seeing them going off right over our heads?
Well, they're very large fireworks.
Oh.
All I can tell you is that where they were
That's
watching
okay.
them from was nowhere near, they were well outside the regulations established by New York State. And they had the necessary permitting, the necessary insurances, and they abided by the regulations that they needed to abide.
I understand that, but
Okay.
nobody with any common sense would have allowed you to put directed over a mobile home.
Well, I was there, they ended at 11:05, and I didn't see a single
They
one go
didn't end at
over top. They ended at
11:05.
11:05, and I didn't see a single one go over top of a manufacturer.
They ended at 11:20.
It ended at 11:20, not 11:05.
Moves over my house too.
Okay, next person. Okay, before you go, Mrs. Dan, like I mentioned. I thought we were getting better with that group, and they have communicated, they've communicated a lot more than anybody else has. This particular thing, they are totally wrong. I'm in your camp on that they should have notified you. Would that have made it right? No, but at least you've been warned. You know, not to be warned, that's inexcusable. I understand that. So we're gonna try to make sure, or suggest that we don't have this happen again in that area. That's the only thing that we can do. And I'm making that plea to our, permit officer. And that's all I have at this point. Please, other people, I'm sure you got something to say. If you want to say the same thing, that's fine. Just name and address. Yes, sir.
Campbell, 89 Quarry Hill, thanks. At exactly 8:15 Friday morning till 8:50, they were playing thumping nothing but bass. Why? Is that just to be rude or what? I mean, you got a 25-year-old, a 20-year-old, 21-year-old. They don't care. And their father don't know what they're doing down there.
That was from 8:15 in the morning till when?
8:50. Just constant bass.
Oh, in the morning.
In the morning.
So for
Friday morning.
35 minutes. Okay.
And then again about 11:45 to 12 o'clock.
I mean, there's no call for that.
Always
We're
bass.
trying to work with these people, but it's like every time we turn around, we get stabbed in the back.
Okay.
Right.
Might penalty be prevent the next application or special.
Yeah, the town board is gonna have to get with the building department and see what rules we can come up with and make it more agreeable to the neighborhood as opposed to.
And
Yeah.
5 years ago, we went through this with bronze. This should never have been allowed. Never. They should never have been allowed to have concerts there. Not even what we went through 5 years ago. And they just, well, said just because they're lining pockets, doesn't matter.
Okay, other comments? Yes, I'll help. This is Dan. We know.
Fireworks were, in my ear, abnormally loud. So I went outside, and when I did, I walked over onto Mr. Campbell's lawn. And the fireworks were going off, but they were going off like over our homes. I didn't see any fall out myself personally come down, but I knew it looked dangerous. Now, these mobile homes are not brand new manufactured homes. Our home is over 45 years old. It wouldn't take much to cause serious damage there. If it were to happen, we may not have even been able to go out to get out of the home. And the other concern that I had is that we have a feral cat population there. They have nowhere to go, and they must have been scared to death, because about 2 weeks ago, we adopted a 14-week-old cat who was abused, kept in a very small area, never socialized, and was scared to death when we picked her up. Now, we were just starting to have her thaw out some when this fireworks goes off, and that cat was so terrorized that you can't even imagine. And this is part of our family. We adopted her. She is our family member. And when I saw how terrified this cat was, I could only imagine about the feral population who has no home, but yet they're in our park. And there's really nothing that we can do because they can't be relocated. If they're neutered or anything, they have to be brought back to our community and placed there because of New York State laws with feral cats. Now, these cats must have even more terrified than our cat. Something needs to be done so that we don't have fireworks and noise at this level. It's not fair to us, and it's not fair to them.
As I mentioned, we will address it. I'm gonna say something that's not gonna be popular with you. I live across from Arrowhead Golf Course. I hear fireworks 3 nights a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just about every weekend. When I was a kid, I loved it. At the beginning, I loved it. I'm over it, but that's a wedding venue. That's apparently what they do now at them. This is a different venue. I'm just sharing with you that I know about the noise. I understand what you went through. And it's, and I don't have any kind of major complaints about the fireworks other than the 3 nights in a row, except at the finale. That's where you get the real boom, 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 booms. And if you're a military veteran, that does something to you. There's no question. I know people that have been, they just don't want to deal with that. So we will look at that. We will look into it. It appears to be the norm of things. I know we have fireworks at all kinds of concert venues elsewhere. That doesn't mean that we can't control it better here and do something about it. So we are certainly will sit down with the planning board and look forward to trying to come to some peace with that. And my apologies, not that I had anything to do with it. Trust me, I didn't. But my apologies that you had to go through that. I do feel it's unforgivable not to have let residents know what was coming. That's one thing I will say on Arrowhead, on Cummings Road or Clarence Center Road. They put notes in our mailboxes, in our paper boxes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, so we know what's coming. You know, in that's half the battle, knowing, like you said, because maybe you can put your animals in the cage or whatever. That's if we were gonna do it down the road. We just gotta look and see what we're gonna do moving forward. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Is there some type of ordinance as to how loud the fireworks can be near your home? Or how close they are to your home? Because like, I don't mind fireworks, I've been to fireworks. My son lived near a park in Buffalo where they set the fireworks off over the water. And they were loud there, but I tell you, they were not as loud as what we were hearing over our homes. That's the issue. It's the safety of it and the loudness, which is a safety issue if you do have post-traumatic stress. That's another group I didn't think of, and I apologize for that.
Okay, we've got a few things to check into.
I believe Dave answered as far as the distance, right, Dave? The
I'm
distance,
sorry,
but I
what was
don't- you did address the distance part, right? When they put a permit through the state?
Yes,
Yeah, but not the, how loud it was, just. The
yes,
distance.
correct.
I just wanted to say, this was in our backyard. This wasn't a quarter mile away, an eighth of a mile away in a town park, which would have been more appropriate. These were big fireworks that went off constantly for over 20-25 minutes. And I mean, they were in our backyard, 200 feet from our homes, less than 200 feet from our homes, over our homes. That home just burned in Akron in 5 minutes because they sprayed Pam on the frying pan. And now we have all this stuff going over our homes, and it did go over our homes. I also had animals and dogs that were terrified in the house. I mean, it was so loud because it was so close. And it did come over my home also.
Can I get your name, please?
Pardon?
Your name?
Carol, Boys Canoe, 83 Quarry Hill.
I should have recognized the voice on the phone. Yes. Okay, anybody else? Yes,
Yeah, Mr. Cummings,
Ralph.
10 years. I know who set the fireworks off. I know them very well, it's pyrotechnics. I lived at Buffalo Hill Village, otherwise known as Jam in the Valley. Okay. And I worked for Sunny. When they had fireworks, we had a tanker, we had a pumper, we had a rescue squad, and we had a fire truck. They had none of that there. Absolutely nothing. They actually, all those, it should have been there, just in case.
Good point.
I mean, there was people coming down Havens Road, stop, and then they were driving through our little park to go back out on the main street, because they would not go down Havens to Main. They were cutting through
Mhm.
and going out past the office because of the fallout. It was in the road. I mean, I got nothing against fireworks, nothing at all. But there should have been some kind of safety equipment there just in case. Because you know how they go up and lickety split, you're gone, house is gone.
Mhm. No argument there.
That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
That I can add to that is that the fire department does sign off on the permits, they are made aware of the events and make sure that they are obviously by their things.
By the time they get there, the house is to the ground.
Mhm. Yeah, I think,
You know, Ray.
That, if you know anything about any sort of, fires and burning, I do fallout from those fireworks, we start the grass on fire quicker than we start anything else.
okay. We'll check into all those very good points. Thank you. If there's nobody else, or nothing else, not to cut anything short, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I apologize for losing my cool a little bit, but I felt two people were totally out of line.
I don't think he did. I think he needed to do that to realize that.
And this one. Your phone.
Hey, so we haven't seen that.
Was bad as the other.
Yeah, but
I'm not.
Not helping.